Welcome to another trade recap. This is how I made $17,000 today. Today, price action was pretty shitty, but we made the most of it. Also, Trade Wars Round 1, Match 1 went down on stream. And if you guys are trying to see me mark up all of these confluences live every single morning in front of your guys' faces and trade like this, then just watch my kick. There will be a little link in the description for you guys to follow me and watch me every single morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time. So with that being said, let's get into the daily bias. So daily bias for me was going to be bearish for several reasons. When London session opened, we moved up, and then following that, we didn't really take out any key levels. And then when pre-market opened for New York session, we went ahead and we swept out London session highs on NASDAQ, and then we also had previous day highs all the way up here, and we had Asian session highs right here. On the S&P, it was pretty much the same exact thing. London session, we traded up. We didn't take out any key levels. And then when New York's session pre-market opened, when New York market opened, we came up, we swept out London session highs. And then before the macro, we actually came up and swept out Asian session highs. And then from there, obviously, my targets were going to be London session lows, other lows down here, high time frame lows, and then previous day lows. I took full take profit on the London session lows because of how choppy price action was moving, and I wasn't really a fan of how price was looking. But yeah, so let's get into the trade. So again, that was the bias. Bias was bearish. There were a lot of confluences to look at. So the first confluence was that we had a high time frame SMT during pre-market, which off of these highs and these highs, which is what caused NASDAQ to go down. But what a lot of people didn't notice was the second SMT that we had with where ES was the lagging index. So on this, NASDAQ was the lagging index because this was the high that NASDAQ swept out the London session highs with. But following that, we can see a high gets made right when market opens, and then a high gets made right when the macro opens. So from this high, NASDAQ's making a lower high right here. But on ES, we can see this high goes into a higher high as ES is doing what? Taking out London session highs and Asian session highs. And that was what helped me find my bias for the day. On top of that, we had already broken 5-minute structure to the downside right here, coming into pre-market of New York session. And on top of that, we failed to break 5-minute structure to the upside following that. So we were actually maintaining bearish market structure or bearish order flow after breaking structure to the downside. I know price was super choppy, but we were still able to see bearish order flow be maintained even though we were tossing wicks above these highs multiple times. So while still watching the bearish order flow, I noticed that we came up and we took out those Asian session highs, and I was like, okay, cool, we're still maintaining 5-minute bearish order flow. I can go ahead and look for shorts. So I went down and I saw right when the macro opened, we immediately break 1-minute structure. And from there, that was my first entry. I put my stop loss right where we broke structure. This was a little bit risky, but it made the most sense for my risk to reward. This gave me a 1.82 risk to reward ratio. And then I got a second smaller contract size entry up here as price pushed deeper into this fair value gap right here and into equilibrium. I essentially entered right when we pushed into equilibrium. And again, I didn't really need to wait for any other 1-minute confirmation. I could have if I wanted to, but most of the time I don't. I really just need a 1-minute break of structure after seeing 5-minute bearish order flow and then a 5-minute continuation confluence. And for me, that continuation confluence was the 5-minute SMT because we were already maintaining that 5-minute bearish order flow. And then boom, seeing the SMT, I was like, okay, bet we're ready to rock. And then boom, we get a sell off. And that's pretty much why I entered. And then my targets were only these London session lows right here. Take profit fully got hit. And again, I wanted to get out because of how nasty price action was looking. As we can see, it was not looking too hot. And if we just look at the 5-minute, a super good gauge to see if price action is good or not, because on the 1-minute, price action is low-key always going to look relatively good. And it's going to look like every day is a good trading day because on the 1-minute, the market's just going to be moving fluidly. But if you guys look at the 5-minute or the 15-minute time frame, this is not good price action. On 5 minute, this is especially not good price action. And it low-key makes sense because we had Trump's inauguration yesterday. It was Martin Luther King Day yesterday, so we didn't really have a no news Monday. And this was essentially our no news Tuesday, while Monday was a bank holiday. So it explains why price action was a little bit trash. Tomorrow, we don't really have any news, but tomorrow should move a little bit more fluidly. And then on Thursday, we have unemployment claims. And then on Friday, we have existing home sales. And then services PMI and composite PMI on Friday. So we should be able to get some pretty solid price action going into the rest of the week. But the start of this week, today, first trade of the week, honestly, it really could have gone in either direction for me. I know I say that like frequently, but I'm just trying to help you guys understand that trading is all about probabilities. And when market is moving like this, it gives me as the trader a lower probability of winning the trade. So even though I won the trade, this is one of those days where it's a lower probability day to trade versus any other day where like the market's moving super fluid. I'm not gonna lie, like this move right here on NASDAQ was super obvious and would have been like the best trade, but it happened during pre-market. We had that 5 minute SMT and then boom, we ended up breaking 5 minute structure and then we come up, we fill in this order block. Like it was a fucking perfect trade, but it just happened during pre-market. And then if we scale down to the 1 minute time frame, like bro, this is perfect price action. And then boom, you just look for sells down to London session lows and then these hourly lows down here. And then also we had Asian session lows all the way down here, but we also had hourly lows right here. And like all of this is just low resistance liquidity that ended up getting taken out. But yeah, that pretty much breaks down what I was looking at for the day. Again, if you guys want to see me do this live, if you guys want to see the entries as well on my brokerage, just go look at the my Instagram story. I'll go ahead and post a screenshot of that there. And yeah, with that being said, I'll see you guys on stream tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern time. We got Trade Wars round 2. Today was super lit. If you guys want to watch the full like video and the full segment, go to my second YouTube channel. It's called TJR Live. Okay. And I'll just leave a link in the description for you guys to be able to go subscribe to that other YouTube channel where I post pretty much all of my live segments. But with that being said, I appreciate you boys. Peace out.